Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my draft guide that is dropping. As you guys are watching this video, it is already out. So I'm going to be talking about the draft guide, and I'm going to be talking about my overall plan for the 2020 season and beyond. So obviously right now we're on the website Patreon. This is where my draft guide actually is on, so that you guys can go ahead and get it. But before we get into that, I actually want to give a huge shout out to Bootleg Fantasy on Twitter, I believe is his handle. If that's not it, it's going to be down below, for making my new logo. It's on the middle of the screen right now. It's the nice crown for me, and it says Notorious Fantasy. I really appreciate that. I think the new logo is going to help people even better figure out who the fuck I am, instead of a picture of Money Manziel just taunting you every single time you look at my fantasy football YouTube page. So after a bunch of hard work went into this draft guide, I am finally pretty much finished, and it is out there now. Well, everything is completely finished, but I'm going to be adding more to what you're actually getting today. Pretty much almost every single day there's going to be new stuff on this draft guide. Help you guys win your fantasy football championship. That's the biggest goal of my channel, is to help you guys take home the gold to win that fantasy football championship, because I know that is the most important thing. Having fun is probably number one, because I know I like to try to make everyone have fun in my videos, and number two is to win that fantasy football championship. So just like with my YouTube videos, my draft guide, I wrote it so that you could tell that I wrote it. You're not just reading this and you think, oh, maybe Nick had someone else write this article. Maybe, and there are going to be other people writing articles on here that I obviously didn't write, but it says their name on here. Clearly doesn't say that, oh, Nick fucking wrote it. Every article that I wrote a bunch of articles, are all with my personality written into it. I talk how I talk on YouTube. It's just written down, and it's just easily consumable. You can just easily read it. You sit down for like 10 minutes, you read this whole thing, and then you gain a lot of information. That's my whole goal with this guide. So what is inside of the draft guide pretty much is simple. I've got rankings for every single way you can play fantasy football: half PPR, full PPR, and standard. I did a huge write-up on how to win your fantasy football draft, and overall how to win your fantasy football league. That is also included in there. I have offensive line rankings done by Tyler Moss NFL on Twitter, my friend Tyler. I have my guys at every single position, guys that I want you guys to understand that I really have a huge fucking man boner for these guys, and I think they're going to absolutely tear it up in the 2020 season. I have sleepers, deep sleepers, handcuffs, players to avoid, defenses to draft, and I'm going to be posting some of my videos a day or two early onto the Patreon, so you guys can watch them early. There's going to be exclusive videos that may not even end up going onto my channel at all, that are going to be fired up into this draft guide, and many, many more. Like I said, this isn't the final product. There's going to be even more stuff going into it, and if there is no season, I want to give you guys that insurance. If there's no season, as long as you screenshot the fact that you bought the Patreon, I will personally make sure to get it to you for free next season. So now you're wondering, Nick, how the actual fuck do I buy this? So you're going to go to the link down below, patreon.com/NotoriousFantasy. Now the guide is $7.50 a month. So how that works pretty much is right when you buy it, we're at the 1st of July, you're going to go ahead and buy it for July and August, so you have it for 2 months, and that's $15 total. I didn't want to charge you guys a crazy amount for the draft guide, because I don't think that that's really needed. I think the hard work I put in there, the price point doesn't really matter. So I didn't make it a super high amount, because I just don't feel like you guys should have to pay a super high amount to win your fantasy football league. I'm going to still be continuing to produce the same amount of content, if not even more than normal, and you're going to be still getting a shit ton on Patreon. We are really trying to take it here. Me personally, I really want this to be big in 2020, so I'm trying to put everything into making this grow. So I'd really appreciate if you guys checked the draft guide out. And just so you know, once the Patreon is going to also go into the season, so there's going to be even more stuff added to the Patreon during the season if you want to stay a Patreon throughout the whole season and not just have it for the draft guide. But if you just want to buy the draft guide, go right ahead and get that. It's going to be well worth your money, I promise you. It's a very fun read, every single thing in there, and there's going to be even more stuff coming pretty much every single day to help you guys win your fantasy football championship. So thank you guys all for watching. I'd really appreciate if you checked it out. Even if you don't end up buying it, that would really mean a lot to me. Just you watching this whole video means a lot. I love you all, and I'll see you motherfuckers tomorrow with yet another video. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.